he had a barn racing for the St. Vincent barn. He invited a whole bunch of people. Sam was one of the leaders, his brother Sam, and he was unbelievable. And they had this 12-foot ladder, and then we had all these beams that we had to put together. And Sam was like, "Okay, Steve," I was thin at the time, and he goes, "You go up the ladder, we'll hold the legs, and you put the bolt together in the beam." And so that's where I was on the top of the ladder, don't shake or anything, putting this together. And then my son, Tyler at the time, was a teenager and absolutely loved James, because James was one of these people that taught my son, if you have one hammer, that's good. Two is better. The Holdens never let go of anything. So we helped put the sheetrock in, we saw all the insulation being blown in, and helped to move in there, and that was a wonderful time. But the car thing in Carlisle was just memorable because of all the stories and family. We got to meet when I joined the board, I got a chance to meet his father and his mother. His father was the epitome of the gracious Southern gentleman, it seemed. He had that string bow tie, and he always was dressed. If I went to the office in White Plains, he would be sitting at his desk and greet you. It was just a very memorable family to just share time with, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Suzanne.
I have another Halloween story. I'm Martha. I'm Jamie's youngest sibling, the only girl, whatever. In any case, this also takes place in roughly 1962-ish or so. My next older brother Charles and I were still young enough to go out trick-or-treating, but Jamie and Sam, they were a little older, and so they weren't really up to it, but up for it, I should say. But my parents didn't really want to go walking door to door with Charles and me any longer, so my father persuaded Jamie to ride Scotty. Scotty was a Welsh pony with a bit of a reputation of his own, in that he had managed to kick every mother on the street, and he'd also bitten every child within 600 yards, more than once. And so, anyway, Jamie had long since outgrown him. I mean, Jamie must have been about 14 or 15, and Scotty was only about this big. But he said, "All right, I'll ride Scotty." We had Ethan. We'd just gotten Ethan, but Ethan was only 5 years old, and he was a little too much horse for Jamie at that point. So anyway, off we went trick-or-treating. Alfred, Charles, myself, and Jamie on Scotty. We got down across Broadway and at the Cuthbertson's house, and went in and got candy. I think you came out first, but Charles came out and he was crying. And Jamie asked him what happened, and he said, "Well, those boys sprayed me with shaving cream." Well, Jamie took off up Nanahagan Hill on Scotty. Scotty, teeth bared, ears back, mane flying, and Jamie, and chased him all the way up over the hill and down the little crest and on into the golf course. And presently he came jogging back, and I don't think those boys ever gave us any trouble after that on any occasion.